Live to King's College Circle now, where some U of T faculty members are speaking out against the school's plan to evict protesters. Let's listen in.
SAI. Robin Maynard, R-O-B-Y-N-M-A-Y-N-A-R-D, Assistant Professor, Department of Historical and Cultural Studies. Faculty present at this press conference are only a fragment of the significant support across the University of Toronto community. This includes 300 university faculty, staff, librarians, and alumni who have pledged their support and asked that the administration immediately meet the students' demands, and nearly 4,600 University of Toronto alumni who signed a petition urging the same. There have been nearly 200 University of Toronto faculty, staff, and librarians regularly visiting the encampment. We have done teach-ins, participated in educational discussions, visited the Sacred Fire, taken part in weekly Shabbat and other prayer services, have made art, and checked in on the emotional and physical well-being of our students. Many have shown visible presence with purple vests, so much so that while there are 50, there are never enough. Faculty I have spoken with have done so out of a sense of duty as instructors. If they continue to do so, will they be terminated, disciplined, or arrested?
Shame.
Shame. Morning, Deb Cowan, D-E-B-C-O-W-E-N, and I'm a professor and a member of the Jewish Faculty Network. We are here on the same morning that the University of Toronto administration is seeking an injunction that would allow the Toronto Police to clear our students from campus. The campus where they learn, pay tuition, and where they are taking part in an historical political protest, one of conscience, courage, and integrity, one that puts on full display just how truly extraordinary U of T students can be. We are here because we care deeply about our students, and because we care deeply about what we are meant to do here in this institution of higher learning. We are here to defend our beautiful, vital 1992 Statement of Institutional Purpose against an administration that threatens, and I quote, "the human right to radical, critical teaching and research with which the university has a duty above all to be concerned." The U of T statement also highlights that there is no other institution which, quote, "is the custodian of the most precious and vulnerable right." Like our students, faculty and librarians are facing an unprecedented threat of mass discipline, including termination. Faculty and librarians with precarious appointments, for instance, pre-tenure, pre-continuing status, pre-permanent status, part-time, or CLTA, the most rapidly growing employment groups, where people of color, Indigenous people, women, and the gender diverse, and colleagues with disabilities are overrepresented, are especially vulnerable. Same with our students. As you will hear today, we will continue to stand with our students in a variety of ways, including materially. At another moment, in the early days of COVID lockdowns, when U of T suspended the most precarious campus workers, a grassroots network of faculty and librarians quickly fundraised a substantial fund and distributed it to them. We will do the same for our students. As instructors bound by the duty to foster our students' well-being, we are being told to step aside as our students are endangered. We echo the words of the Ontario Federation of Labour from their statement of support, adding our own twist. We say to our administration, if you decide to move against the students, you'll have to go through us first. We also implore our administration to remember that we are U of T. The administration is not the university. You are the custodians of our precious mission, and you are failing the U of T community. There is still time, however, to do the right thing. Meet the students' demands and stand on the right side of history.
Yes.
Hi everyone, my name is Alejandro Paz, A-L-E-J-A-N-D-R-O-P-A-Z. I'm an associate professor of anthropology and a member of the steering committee of the Jewish Faculty Network. It is an honor to be here, where the student representatives and negotiators of Occupy U of T have stood so often to update us and show us what freedom really means. what democracy actually means, what refusing complicity really means. The students took their university education seriously and took the statement of institutional purpose of the university seriously when it says, and my colleague just quoted it, but it's worth quoting again, quote, "And we affirm that these rights are meaningless unless they entail the right to raise deeply disturbing questions and provocative challenges to the cherished beliefs of society at large and of the university itself." I continue to quote, "It is this human right to radical, critical teaching and research with which the university has a duty above all to be concerned, for there is no one else, no other institution, and no other office in our modern liberal democracy which is the custodian of this most precious and vulnerable right of the liberated human spirit." End of quote. This statement has been reaffirmed over and over again by President Gertler, even as recently as his letter to the students after they occupied Simcoe Hall. And because the students took this statement seriously, because they took President Gertler seriously, what did the administration do? Yesterday, the administration went to court to get an injunction to threaten the students with police violence and to threaten staff, librarian, faculties with losing our jobs. It's shameful. And by the way, our faculty association has challenged the whole interpretation of private property as the administration has laid it out, and the administration has no answer. Let's remember that the administration does not own the university. They do not compromise the university. They are but its stewards. If they betray the university's purpose, they no longer can represent the university. We are all the university. Let's remember why the students have set up the People's Circle for Palestine. They are here because of what hundreds of experts in international law and human rights, as well as dozens of experts at the UN, say qualifies as a genocide that Israel is perpetrating against the Palestinians in Gaza. A textbook case of genocide, according to one Israeli scholar. The International Court of Justice has found that this conclusion of genocide is plausible, and then again on Friday, ordered the Israelis to stop their operations in Rafah. And the International Criminal Court is now seeking arrest warrants for Prime Minister.
Okay, listening to some impassioned U of T faculty members who are speaking out against the school's plan to expel student protesters. This, as the school administration is seeking an injunction to dismantle the encampment that's been set up there for weeks. Some of the faculty members we just heard from say they support these students who are taking part in this protest, saying if you decide to move on our students, you'll have to go through us first. For the university's part, it says the encampment is causing irreparable harm to the institution, and they have issued a trespass notice. Protesters say they're doing this to pressure the university to disclose their ties to Israel.